Are you a young girl with a passion for technology? Do you dream of building the next big thing or making a difference to the world through your work? So you're not alone. So join me today as I'm going to talk to a stellar panel of amazing people, women that are doing great work in the field of technology. And with me today, we have three amazing women from Tech Woman New Zealand. And also I have a very young technologist, I would say, that she's going to share with us her story. So let's start by introduction of our amazing panelists. So two of them, they're joining us from Wellington. So with me is Samar Al-Rais. Samar, she is a senior account executive at Microsoft, ambassadors for Women Rising and co-chair for Tech Woman New Zealand. Also with me is Amanda Watson. So Amanda, she's a client relationship manager with the company Cognizant, and also she's an event manager for Tech Woman New Zealand. So let's start with you first, and then I will come back and introduce Isabel properly here. So to you, Samar, we would like to hear from you about Tech Woman New Zealand. I know this is one of the associations of NZ Tech, but we would like to hear from you a little bit more for those viewers who might not heard about this organization before.
Thank you, Masa, and welcome, Isabel. Kia ora, everyone. I'm Samar, and I'm the co-chair of NZ Tech Women. As Masa mentioned, we are under the umbrella of NZ Tech, and we are a bunch of passionate people around trying to help more women to be in technology. We all understand that the stats are very clear that we need more women in tech, and our goal is basically just to focus on attracting more talents and more women talents in technology, whether they're young women or the ones who decided to leave the industry or they would like to even change careers. And also our goal is to support women in technology and make sure that they get the right support, mentoring, and attention to excel and be who they should be, amazing and great. Basically, those are the focus points. Our theme for this year is to focus on attracting and inspiring the next generation. So we are very focused on shadow tech, and we're trying to run many programs across the whole country with different regions to get the chance to give the young women to come and see how the real workplace works, so they get inspired, hopefully, and join us in this journey. We also run all kind of webinars and mentorship programs, and I'll leave that part to Amanda probably. That's it from me. We're very excited about today. Thank you, Masa.
Thank you so much, Samar. And what a great theme for this year, inspiring the next generation of Wahine here in New Zealand. And I know that this is really a kind of like joining all the forces across the Aotearoa New Zealand to be able to achieve that. So we're all doing it through different events, webinars, awareness campaign around it. And we know that usually these events are very effective. So I would like to ask you, Amanda, tell us a little bit about some of the passion projects for Women Tech New Zealand and also some of the events that you have. Are there any specific dates that we have to mark on our calendar for this year? I would love to hear all about it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marcia. Hi, everyone. Kia ora. My name's Amanda. And yep, I'm responsible for making sure that we are all over the place and in your face across LinkedIn, the LinkedIn community, where we have about 1,500 wonderful people. And what we're focusing on this year, Passion Project, is shadow tech. So lots of push and promotion is about to really start. It hasn't been around for the past few years owing to COVID, but we'll keep your eyes out on our LinkedIn community and Tech Women newsletter, if you remember, because there's going to be a lot more information around that. 28th of June is something to put in your diary for around about midday to 1:30. The time slot will come out. Register for your tickets because we're having a midwinter webinar. This is going to be all virtual, so everybody can snuggle in with their slippers and a cup of hot chocolate during lunchtime or soup, whatever keeps you warm. We're going to be talking about attracting more women into the workplace, job descriptions, writing CVs, how to read a job description, etc., and so on. Lots and lots of things, some statistics. And there's going to be a panel of those of us that are slightly longer in the tooth interviewed by those of us that are way younger and haven't got to that point yet. So it's going to be fun and interesting and very informative. We do something like this every year. Keep an eye out for 2 more throughout now until October. Ada Lovelace, 13th of October, as always. But also we're going to partner up with She Sharp and do an event in person in Auckland as well as hybrid virtual for burnout and wellness, which is something else we all have to be mindful of. So that's the 3 that I would bring to your attention. And thank you very much for this time.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing those. I'm really excited about every single event, but the one that we are going to collaborate with each other with She Sharp, which is a topic very close to all of us working in that tech space, and hopefully we will be able to, discuss it further in that session. But thank you so much to both of you from Wellington. Thanks for joining us. And now I just want to start a conversation with our young, inspiring girl, Isabel. So thank you to you. So Isabel, to you. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
I'm really excited about our conversation. Just a little bit about you. I know that you are a year 10 student and you are aspiring aeronautical engineer. So tell me about that. How did you become interested in the space industry?
I've been interested in space for probably since before I can actually remember. I used to love going to the planetarium and reading lots of space books. I loved memorizing lots of random facts.
Great.
And when I was about 10, I went to some events. I think I went to a Tech Week event, actually, talking about low-orbit satellites.
Amazing.
At the university. And I went to the Brian Cox lecture, and that was kind of the first time that I opened my eyes to the possibilities of what I can do in the space industry.
That is fascinating. I love his shows too. Isn't it just amazing the way he's explaining that? A very complex, I think, topic to every audience. And just fascinating the way that you are so clear-minded about what you really want to do. And I think you're well and truly on your way to get there. So this is amazing, because even here at university, I work with the students that they still really don't know what they want to do. And to be honest, I still don't know what I want to do exactly when I grow up. But so you know exactly what you want to do. So how did you find that in comparison to your other friends? So most of them, they know what they want to do?
I think kind of what tends to happen at my age is a lot of people know what their strengths are and they know what they enjoy. You kind of get a sense about what subjects at school you really like participating in, what kind of clubs you do, and kind of the ones that don't click in your brain as much. I think a lot of people have an idea of what kind of a job they want, but they don't necessarily know exactly what they want to do.
And I think that's a very fair point. So the jobs for the future of work, it's not even defined yet. So it's all unknown. We know that they are highly impacted by digital technology, but we don't exactly know what it is. But it's really good. So it's a really good news to know that, overall what they want to, but they might not be sure about the title of that job. But tell me about the schools. So right now in a school, do you think our schools are ready to embrace that, the changing world of technology and using it to motivate and excite next generation?
I think that I'm very privileged that my school has a lot of the new technology and they're very willing to incorporate it and use it. There's lots of different robotics clubs and ePro 8, all sorts of different things you can do with all this really cool technology. And so I think that definitely plays a part. The school having that technology can really inspire students.
That's really
great. But I
great.
think there's still some technological illiteracy among teachers. I've had substitutes who haven't been able to connect to the projector before, which can be a bit of a challenge for students to overcome.
True. So definitely I think our teachers, the students, they all need that support in terms of professional development, getting themselves, up to scale with what's happening, because it's just playing catch up with everything's happening out there. But I think you have an advantage. So did it really help you to having mom in an IT industry? So your mom is a good friend of mine. So I know she's really inspiring and she's a great role model. Did that help you?
I think it helped me in a way that they always encouraged what I wanted to do, and they were happy to support me and take me to events. And both my mum and my grandmother have a pretty big network amongst technology, and so they were able to find events to go to, like the low orbit satellites, and they were the ones that could set me up to do. I did Ada Lovelace Day last year. They were able to set me up with that.
Great. So people who know me, they know that I always saying that you can't be who you can't see. So it's really great that, you know, you have these role models around you, but you have the opportunity to see other people working in that space. And I really hope that through this, you know, Tech Woman New Zealand, She Sharp, Girl Boss, all the organization, that we are trying all together to create and put the spotlight on some of the people working in that, and makes it a little bit more norm for everyone to consider it. But we still have a long way to go. So I saw a couple of years ago, a stat was only 3% of our 15-year-old girl even consider tech as a potential career in tech. And that's a scary number to me. Do you have any suggestions? What can we do to encourage next generation of wahine to consider tech as a career path?
I do. I've been thinking about this.
I love that, because that's the question I want to answer. What can we do? How can we support you?
I think the main problem for students is they don't like maths. And by the time you get to doing science in high school and considering tech, you need to be able to do maths. And so I think the problem is primary school students aren't getting enough support and they're falling behind, so that by the time they get to about my age, year 9, 10, they hate maths as a subject. And they feel like they're not good at it and they don't understand it, and they just feel like they're in over their head. And so I think if we offer a lot more support for students in their maths learning, and even teachers in primary schools, because they may not be secure in all of their maths knowledge because they have to be general teachers.
True. So math, I keep hearing that, and what I'm really thinking, it's all about how you teach it. It's all about how to introduce math and making it a fun, interesting topic for students. And I'm really hoping that, you know, we can support our teachers by giving them different, you know, tools and options to make that specific subjects in your school a little bit more fun. The artificial intelligence tool that can help students as a tutor, sitting with them, giving them exercises, giving them activities that make them, you know, to find a fun, and, you know, learning that it's not a big, you know, chore for them. And hopefully that would be something to prevent them to enter to the pathway of STEM. So I'm looking at our time, and I'm just thinking that I would really like to hear the last word from you in terms of the experiences that today our students, they have in the school. So I just really want to know about all the other students in the school, that if they want to be, you know, finding their path through the STEM technology, except all of those events that you mentioned, is there any other things that they can actually go and explore to find their path in that space?
I think there's lots of interesting resources that you can find if you find something you're particularly interested in. I went to the Brian Cox lecture and I was really interested in it, and so I looked online and I found some more videos discussing the topic and some podcasts, and even stuff that he'd said more about it in a way, and it like explained it, and I found it really interesting. So I decided to kind of go down that path.
Okay, so explore and finding there's something that inspires them. So it might be a podcast, a good reading, a show, or something that will give them the information they need. And thankfully, we are living at the age that there is no shortage of this information. If you want to find information about any topic, I think they're all accessible. It's just a matter of, you know, go and find your passion. So thank you so much for joining me. Any last suggestions, thoughts from you, Isabel, that you would like to share with some of the girls? Hopefully they're watching this later today. I know that probably they're all in school, but hopefully they will be able to watch the replay. So any last thought to share with our viewers?
I think just if you have, as an adult, if you see someone in your life that has a passion for that at a young age, really just foster it and encourage them to go after it. And when there's inevitably setbacks, try really help them push through, because if you can keep that love of maths and science and understanding why things happen that most kids have at a young age, then you'll get a lot more people that continue that throughout. And as they get older, they're more likely to pursue those careers.
Thank you so much, Isabel. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being a star and champion in this field. So we'll love to see and hear you in all of other events throughout the year. So you are a great role model. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you to TWNZ for giving me this opportunity. It's been pretty cool.
Brilliant.